is right. Victory Monday, September 19, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
Good afternoon, my friend Ryan. Damn good to see my boy Maz back from his vacation in Jersey. We'll get to him in a second. I wish it was a real Victory Monday. Dan Campbell didn't
The hell
give
do
a
you mean?
I'm talking about from the player's point of view. Victory Monday means you get Monday off. You get your usual Tuesday off. But after the game, when he was breaking it down, I didn't hear no Victory Monday.
I did think about that,
actually.
I did think about that, but they're not ready for that. Maybe they need two before they can.
Hold on. And here's where this is where I disagree. When you have a Victory Monday, like to get that feeling of a Victory Monday, now I get it. You're like, hey, this is just their first win. We want to keep guys coming to the building. We want to keep this thing rolling. You got Minnesota on a short week. I understand that. But once you feel a Victory Monday, especially like married guys with kids and wives at the house, when you don't have to come in Monday and you don't have to come in Tuesday, your membrane processes that like whatever we got to do to keep feeling this, we need to feel this. And that's why I say you give them a Victory Monday, because now they're going to be clamoring to get back to Victory Monday.
Tom Mazawey, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Hey, guys. What a great day. Love Victory Mondays. They're very rare in this town, but we got one now, and I don't think they're going to be rare going forward anymore. And I was the only guy in this Jersey pizza bar yesterday concentrating on TV all the way to the right, the Lions and the Washington Commanders. And I couldn't have been more excited. There was a part of me maybe mid-third quarter that was saying, uh-oh. But then they came back, man. And that is a great sign, the way they came back and closed out Washington. That was a hell of a game, and it's a rarer thing when the Jets and Giants also win on that day. That never happens to me. Three teams.
Throw the Jaguars into that mix, and it's the first time since 2011 that the Jets, Giants, Lions, and Jags all won on the same weekend.
Amazing.
And guys, let's just get right into it today. Let's get right into it. Yesterday, the Lions played winning football. Last week, Dan Campbell said, you know what, you got to clean up the mistakes. Got to clean up the mistakes. They had 5 drops, bunch of penalties, couple turnovers. Yesterday, they cleaned up those mistakes, Braylon Edwards. No turnovers, 2 penalties. Jumped out to a 22-0 lead. That is winning football. They got punched in the mouth in the second half. And instead of what so many people are used to around here, the Lions folding, they punched back. Amon-Ra St. Brown on the end around really kind of set the tone back in the Lions' momentum. And it was a win, man. And it felt good from start to finish. We talk so negatively as a whole, not us, but as a whole about these Detroit Lions. Gosh darn it, man. They played winning football yesterday and deserved that W.
Yeah, winning football, no turnovers. Obviously, they had 2. They only had 2 penalties. They only had no interceptions, no turnovers, 1 drop, 2 penalties. Like, they played championship football. This is the first time, Ryan and Maz, where I've watched the Detroit Lions game and they control the game from start to finish. Now, many people want to come out and talk about the second half, and we will get to that in terms of giving up that many points in the second half, 27 to be exact. We'll get to that. But they still controlled the tempo of the game. Washington Commanders were playing from behind the whole game. Even when the Lions, you're like, uh-oh, SOL, same old Lions, not so fast, my friend. They made the plays when it counted. They kept control of the game. That's what you want to see. That's winning football. You beat a team that had a pretty good offense. Look, Carson Wentz went from, he still passed for over 300 yards. Jahan Dotson got in the end zone.
He's good.
He's damn good. You talked about him, as when we're getting to the draft. He was your low-key wide receiver that you liked in the first round. Kudos to you and that Penn State wide receiver. But they still controlled the tempo. They showed you they could do her. Walt Harris makes an interception. They played under man. How many guys in that game, for lack of a better word, how many guys didn't play in that game? And they still rose. They still overcame. Good to see the Detroit Lions. They even got JB over there drinking the Kool-Aid. Because I wouldn't see you wearing no Detroit Lions stuff last week. I saw everything but Detroit. But now he's got the Detroit Lion hat on and the shirt. Played good football. Some things to clean up. But shout out to Aiden Hutchinson. You drafted him 2 overall. You asked him to show up. My God, he definitely showed up.
Just took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say, don't forget about our number 1 pick. 3 sacks, 5 hurries, bunch of tackles.
And wasn't completely healthy.
Welcome to the NFL. Yeah, he was limping at the end of that game. Pretty bad. And I really liked how who came and reached out to him? Carson Wentz at the end of that game. Came and found him and tapped him on the shoulder, turned around and gave him a big handshake and congratulations. That was classy by Carson Wentz.
It's going to go a long way in his. I keep using the word membrane. I don't know where I got that from. I just left the golf course, so maybe that's on my mind.
Maybe.
Thinking about overthinking shots. But that's going to be in his membrane a long time. He's going to reach out and think back and say, hey, man, that guy that was a veteran, a guy that went to a Super Bowl, that guy came, saw me out after the game. Whatever I'm doing, I got to keep doing it and then add something to it.
You know what it looked like to me, too, yesterday, guys, was just flat out they looked like an NFL football team. They looked like a good NFL football team. And it's something we have not been able to say about these guys for a long time. They didn't get their first win last year until December 5th. December 5th.
Wow.
That's when they won for the first time last year. This looks like a completely different team. This looks like a group of guys that are hungry.
Yeah.
This looks like a group of guys that fight for each other. And as you said, Bray, how many times have you seen a Detroit Lions team miss 3/5 of their offensive line, guard, center, guard,
Starting cornerback.
have starting cornerback,
The spread flipped 3 points.
next man up? Yeah, we talked about that a lot as well. Like this was the first time since 2020 that the Lions were a favorite. No, they were not. They went
Correct.
off as an underdog in this game. So that game, that stat still is applicable to the next time they're a favorite, probably against Seattle in a couple of weeks. But nonetheless, this looked like an NFL football team to me, and I think you have to feel real good. And, you know, I don't want to overreact to one win. This is more of a reaction to how I feel and how I felt about this team. Second half of last year, Bray, these guys were getting it together. And I just think in order to be a good team, you have to have a good structure about you. You have to have a good organization. And darn it, this team and this organization seems like it's solid. It seems like it's got a solid structure of an organization that is trickling down not only to the front office, but to the coaching staff, to the assistant coaches, to the players, to the backups, to the guys on the practice squad. And again, it's one win, but it feels like, at least to me, the first of many.
But it looked different, though, Ryan Ermanni. Like, the teams that win in this league, the teams that have success, man, they're teams that when you say they got 5 guys out, or they have 4 guys out, or they have 3, or they have 5, or they have 6, it doesn't matter. That's not an excuse for them to lose ball games. Like, you look at Aaron Rodgers last year when he went into Arizona Cardinals, he had no wide receivers. That wasn't an excuse. He's like, hey, by the way, we don't have wide receivers, but you know what, we're Green Bay. We'll figure it out. Good teams figure it out, and that's exactly what they did. They were missing 8 players, and then they had guys that were hurting the game. You mentioned Aiden Hutchinson, noticeably limping after the game. That's okay. We got to get this W. We got to do what we got to do. It just looked and felt different. I'm watching the game, and even when they started coming back, and I'm talking about the Commanders, I just still felt like the Lions had it. I still felt like the Lions were in control. I said, you know what? DeAndre Swift's going to make a play. You know what? Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to make a play. Like, you got guys now that you can point out to say, you know what? DJ Chark, I think, can make a play. I believe Jamal Williams, when we get inside the red zone, he's going to run hard and we'll get down there. You feel confident in saying, no, they'll be okay. That's different around here. I don't know about you guys. I've just been a Lions fan for recently, and it's different in just the recent time that I've been a Lions fan.
It's hard to watch a game. I can't explain it. When I watched them, I didn't feel like I was watching my old team. I didn't feel like, I don't even know how to react watching that game.
It's called an out-of-body experience.
Yeah, I mean it. I'm like, nah, that's not my team. No, they can't look that good.
You got to fix the brightness. Maybe it wasn't the Lions. Maybe it was
no way.
Team.
No way they look that good.
It's funny you say that because I was watching the game with a couple of buddies, and they were like, who are these guys?
Yeah.
Who are these guys? And then obviously, you know, it gets to within one score.
Yeah.
And everybody, if you're a Lions fan in the city of Detroit, everybody, here we go again, until you stop feeling that way. Right? I mean, whether it was the missed extra point, you felt like all those things that used to happen with the Lions were happening to Washington.
To somebody else.
And you were like, okay, we're going to actually win this game. And again, like I said, guys, I think this is the first of many. I feel real good about this team. I felt good about this team after last week.
Yeah, you did.
And
say
I know there were some things that, again, they had to clean up. I just didn't feel... And maybe where I got last week's assessment wrong, which I cleaned up myself, was I didn't fully anticipate or expect Jalen Hurts to be as good as Jalen Hurts was. Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback that you build your franchise around.
Maybe.
Completely, totally. At least right now, I mean, he looks like he can do the job. Yeah, is that fair to say?
He looks better than Trey Lance.
Oh, man, it's too soon. Too soon.
My point is, Carson Wentz, Kirk Cousins, Geno Smith, Mac Jones, Cooper Rush. These are not quarterbacks that you mentioned with Jalen Hurts. And I did think that the Lions got some pressure last week. They just couldn't beat the running quarterback.
Yeah, I told you they'd get him this week.
Yeah.
They're going to catch him.
They do not have to face a Jalen Hurts-type quarterback, maybe even until they see Tua. And Tua's not even really a runner, to be honest with you. Thanksgiving, yeah.
Josh Allen.
So they can make some headway here over the next couple of weeks. We'll see what happens.
If they stay healthy.
Here's the thing. You mentioned that before we get to a break. You mentioned next week. This is another thing that shapes up well for the Detroit Lions. Look at their schedule. They don't face any schedule situation where they come off a short week. They already play the fourth easiest schedule. Like this week, they got Minnesota on a short week. It's a short week for Minnesota. Like that's lucky for the Detroit Lions. Like they have a schedule that is the best possible schedule for shaping the team that they want to create, the identity that they want to create, and get a little help. Man, you're watching this, and it's like, I hope Ryan Ermanni was right when he said 10 wins. I still don't know. But Ryan, you might be on something. You predicted last year, so maybe this is another one.
I got news for you, Bray. They're going to get flexed. They are going to get flexed.
I mean, maybe so, but listen.
Explain. That word just went over my head.
In other words,
this is a betting term?
NBC, Amazon, Monday Night Football. One of them, they're able to grab a game here and there. So
everybody has been talking about it since January.
So they only have 1 o'clock games, except the 12:30 Thanksgiving Day game.
Every single game on the Lions schedule, other than the final game at Green Bay, is a 1 o'clock Sunday game, and of course the Thursday 12:30 game on Thanksgiving. They don't even play a 4:15 or a 4:35 game.
Yeah,
it is incredible.
They will be flexed this year.
They know when they're playing. Okay, Sunday at 1, until they get flexed. Guys, this is very exciting to be here on a Monday with you. Get in on the chat on YouTube. WoodwardSports.com, YouTube, WoodwardSports.com. You're going to hear from Dan Campbell. You'll hear from Amon-Ra St. Brown. You'll hear from a lot of guys coming up next, plus a story that we'll talk about as well. That is Dan Skipper. We'll talk about that. But Dan Campbell on the win. You're going to hear from him next. But first, a message from Gypsy Vodka.
Gypsy Vodka has created a seltzer, hard seltzer, and it is the mulligan. They say it's the drink of the summer, but you know what? Let's extend that to fall. An 8% alcohol seltzer, and it is amazing, but be careful. It is 8%. Iced tea, lemonade, and mango are the flavors. Adam and Mike, you've done it again. Support Michigan Distillers. That's right. They're in-state. Patowski guys, Michigan State guys, support them. Drink it. You got to have it. It's so smooth. It's so good. But if you're going to drink, remember to always drink responsibly.
Detroit's downtown summer playground is back. Open all summer long, the Monroe Street Midway. Enjoy roller skating, free Wi-Fi, food trucks, art installations, and so much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the basketball court, putt-putt, and, of course, family programming all summer long. All art installations are done by Detroit artists, and it's a fun, safe event from people 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We are the network for Detroit, by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, it's Maz for the Academy of Warren, and if you're interested in expanding your career and making a difference in your community, Academy of Warren for professionals is the place for you. You have a passion for working with students in the K-8 department and more, give the Academy a ring. For more information on how to apply, call them 586-552-8010 or visit them at visitacademyofwarren.net.
Listen, it feels good to win. That's what it does. It feels good to win because there's a lot of hard work that's put in across the board. And I said going into this game, man, I wanted to do something. You know, I wanted us to be the team that forced somebody to make the critical error, and we did that. We did that on the extra point, you know. So however you want to cut it, man, we made the plays that we had to win this game.
Dan Campbell post-game yesterday after the Lions' 36-27 win over the Washington Commanders. Braylon, I thought it was a must-win for a number of different reasons. You know, obviously, you know, they weren't going to be eliminated from playoff contention if they didn't win. But I just thought it was a must-win because it was one of those 50-50 games against a team that we didn't anticipate to be a playoff team. And they got to win those games at home. They did, and they just keep this fan base interested a little while longer. And again, the longer you can keep everybody interested, I just think the better for everybody. Football season is extended by a couple of weeks, at the very least, my friend.
Definitely extended by a little bit at least. But the good thing about it is when you look at this win, now first and foremost, hold on, okay? Everybody take a step back. It was the Washington Commanders, a team that we view to be right outside the playoff. So I don't want everybody to be like, oh man, they're drinking the Kool-Aid and they think they're going to win a Super Bowl. By no means did we say that. But what we're acknowledging is a good win against a team that has good players. Now they may not be a championship team or they may not be a playoff team, but they got some studs on that team. Carson Wentz usually has good seasons. Now he may let you down in a big moment, but Carson Wentz numbers are going to be pretty clean. They're going to, just like last year, they were good. Just like the year before that, they were pretty decent. Jahan Dotson, he's a player. Curtis Samuel, who Michigan knows all too well, the infamous 4th and inches, that was Curtis Samuel. They got the yardage on that play. And then also Terry McLaurin. So they got some players on that team. But what the Lions did, man, the Lions had a game at home, a team that they knew that they could beat, and they went out there and beat them. It's simple as that. It's a team that they had at home. I'll say it again. They had at home that they felt like they should beat, which they should. They went out there and they beat them. The team caught up a little bit in the second half. Hey, don't worry. We got the players. We can make some plays. We got young guys like Walt Harris making a play. You heard about him talking all this in Hard Knocks. And even in Hard Knocks, what I say, he's bumping his gums all that, but he's got to make some plays. Well, guess what? He shut me up and he made a play for the Detroit Lions. And congratulations on Walt in his first pick.
No, Will. It's Will.
Will, excuse
me. Now, he got pushed from the back on that play, didn't he? Out of the end zone? Wasn't that his interception? Didn't who got the interception at the goal line?
That was Will Harris.
That was Will Harris. And the player that hit him, he should have been thrown out of that game. That was a targeting play. Anyway, I digress.
Much like Mike Evans.
So far, 1-1 against the NFC East.
Yeah.
And I've seen the other two teams. I've seen the New York Giants. They are a terrible offense. Daniel Jones
is going to get killed.
He's terrible. The only thing Daniel Jones can do is run with the ball. That's it.
Is Daniel Jones terrible, or is he just so used to not having protection that he just starts to play thinking about running for his life?
He sucks.
Okay.
He can't throw. He's terrible.
I knew you would give it to him.
And it's a shame. They drafted him number 1. They reached for him at number 1.
Yeah.
If he was picked in the 3rd round, it's a different. He's got the weight of the world on New York on his shoulders. They're killing him already, even though he's 2-0. I think he passed for 176 yards last week. The week prior, like 160 yards. Yeah, he don't throw many incompletions because he throws dump passes. Dallas, they stink. Okay, yeah, they beat the Bengals yesterday.
Cooper Rush, baby.
They stink. The Lions could beat both those teams, and they will play them coming up. So I'm saying against the NFC East, I think they got their number.
The Lions also, we talk so much about the Lions offense, right? They scored 36 points this week. That is the 3rd most in the NFL this week so far. Last week, 3rd most in the NFL.
35.5 is what they're averaging right now.
Absolutely. 71 total points. Ties them with the Kansas City Chiefs. But it's the defense, I thought, really that set the tone yesterday. Here's Dan Campbell talking about defensively how they got after it for the Detroit Lions against the Washington Commanders.
It's like, all right, we got to emphasize it a different way. It was about turnovers. And we got that. I mean, look, the sack fumble essentially in the end zone, that's a turnover. I mean, and, you know, we get 2 out of it. And then Will Harris, they were getting a little momentum. And to get that, I felt like kind of reset us a little bit, all right, and gave us a chance to breathe. And it proved to be a big play. It really.
How about this, guys? In the first half, 8 possessions for the Washington football team, 4 sacks, no points, and a safety. You got to win that game. Right. That defense sets the tone. Anytime your defense can stop an NFL team and hold them to 0 points in 2 quarters of football, that's pretty darn good.
Ryan, let me jump in and say something. At the end of the day, it's about getting W's however you get them. We talk about this all the time. I actually got into it with somebody last week when they were talking about why is Nick Sirianni celebrating. I was like, because they got a W. It don't matter that it's against the Detroit Lions. By the way, Detroit Lions are a much better team than people think. It's because you got a W. You look at the Lions, you're like, oh, well, the Commanders almost came back. But you get Will Harris makes a play in the end zone. Get that, and they make some plays. Look at the Rams yesterday. By the way, I picked that one. Look at the Rams yesterday. They were about to give that game back. But what happened at the end of the game? Your DB1 makes a play in the end zone. Jalen Ramsey, he gets the interception in the end zone. Teams that win find ways to make plays when they got to make plays. I see the same exact thing with the Detroit Lions. Washington Commanders are coming back. Oh, here we go again. Not so fast, my friend. Will Harris makes an interception. Like Dan Campbell said, reset. That's what you got to do. Teams that win, they find a way to make that play. Doesn't matter what the score is. They find a way to make that play to win.
Brian Baldinger, I think, is the biggest Lions fan of all the NFL analysts. Broke down 2 more plays. Actually broke down a handful of plays. He's gushing over this team. He loved the way Hutch and Malcolm Rodriguez get to the ball. He loved, and he's showing you the jet sweep that Ben Johnson calls up, the trap play inside the DeAndre Swift when he falls down, gets up, and runs in for a touchdown. The blocking on the offensive line yesterday was almost flawless. And yes, they're missing Frank Ragnow. Yeah. All right, they're missing a bunch of other guys as well.
In the NFL.
Yep, you got Dan Skipper stepping up, Logan Stenberg stepping up. Congrats to them. Congrats to Dan Campbell, Hank Fraley, and that great coaching staff. These guys listen.
I was going to say, the reason why everybody is gushing to cheer for the Detroit Lions is now that you kind of see, once Matt Stafford went out to Los Angeles, you start to talk about Matt Stafford. Well, he was in a boo-boo situation in Detroit. It allowed people to really dive into Detroit's situation. Now you have Detroit. That's the reputation. Now you see something that they believe in. They like the fact that we're a gritty team. They like the fact that everybody's buying in. They like the fact that Dan Campbell's a little off and a little quirky in the ways that he does coaching and his conferences, his press conferences. They like that they buy in together. They like that there's no individual personalities that are above the Detroit Lions. So, well, yeah, the Lions are here and such is over here, or such and such acts like that. This team is a team that is together. They're fun to watch. The line mauls people. DeAndre Swift is doing what you said you want to see out of him. Jared Goff is reinvigorated. He looks different. He's not turning the ball over. Like, everyone wants to cheer for a team that everybody's together in. There's only one. It's the Detroit Lions. There's no individuals on this team.
You know what Uncle Tommy brought his nephews in New Jersey this weekend? They all got a grit shirt. Detroit Lions GRIT shirt, and they're wearing them proudly. Wore them yesterday. I'm spreading the joy, man.
I see.
Guys, I did ask about the defense, and I don't want to gloss over it. I would like to talk about that defense a little bit. You're going to hear from Dan Campbell talking about Aiden Hutchinson and a forgotten player. Nobody's talking about this guy, but he's had a big impact, I think. We'll talk about him next as well. But first, a message from Swiss.
There is nothing better on game day than a rockin' tailgate. I love going to tailgates. They're always fun, especially this time of year, fall, when you start to integrate a little bit of chili in that thing. But guess what? With fun comes responsibility too. Host liquor liability is an important coverage whether you're hosting high school, college, or NFL games and tailgates. So let Mark and Swiss Insurance protect you. You saw that melee outside of Detroit after the Philadelphia Eagles game. Don't want to be in that situation. You want to be covered. You want to be protected. Let Swiss Insurance Group do that for you.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
I'm fired up. Carlos, I am. Yes, I love it. 3 sacks. I hope we get 3 more. He gives us 3 more next week. Yeah, I'm not, and I haven't seen the tape, but just from what I saw out there and how everything was run and the stunts, and I thought he did a great job. I did. So I'm not like I'm down on him or something. I thought he did a great job, but I thought all those guys did too. They all funneled them to each other, you know.
That was Dan Campbell talking about Aiden Hutchinson. So much was made of the fact that, you know, the stat line last week for Hutchinson, you know, is he a bust already? I mean, I heard that in a couple of places. My goodness, give the guy a second to breathe. It's his first NFL game. But nonetheless, 3 sacks in the first half. Did look like he was laboring a little bit towards the end, not as effective on it. I'm not going to
think he was playing on one leg.
Speculate what the injury was with him. Apparently, it just does not seem like it's a huge deal for him. But Aiden Hutchinson, 6 tackles, 5 solo, 3 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hits. Big stat line yesterday for the Lions, 2nd overall pick.
Yeah, I saw those stat lines a couple times last year. And that's when he became the Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten and finished 2nd in the Heisman. That's what it looked like. Played a heck of a game. But before I comment on Aiden, but you see how Dan Campbell's press conference was? That was just what I was saying in terms of they're one team, they're one unit, as opposed to go up there like some coaches do. And he just talks about Aiden Hutchinson the whole press conference like, yeah, Aiden had 3 sacks. This is why we drafted him 2nd overall, blah, 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 blah. What he chose to do, he said, look, I'm not talking down about Aiden. He played well. And, man, gee golly, I hope he goes out there, get 3 more sacks. But everybody on that D-line played good. They got to the quarterback. Everybody was getting after. Like, when you're watching that, you know a guy is 2nd overall. You know you're not in that guy's league, or you know you're not going to make his type of money. And you see your coach talking about you at the same time he's talking about that guy, you're like, all right, cool, we are a team. So he's kind of like, yeah, what's the word I'm looking for? He's basically reminding you that he's reiterating it, that it is a team. But Aiden went out there and did what he was supposed to do as number 2 overall pick, backup tackle for the Washington Commanders. The offensive line not that good, and he went after it. He exposed that offensive line, got to the quarterback 5 times, got 3 sacks, got 2 hits, got 7 pressures total. He was just a man amongst boys, and you like to see that. Another guy on that defense, I'll wait to see if that's what you're about to bring up.
I was going to say Charles Harris.
There you go.
You know, they brought him over in the offseason, and not too much has been made of this guy. He's played pretty darn good. He's got to the quarterback, too. And I've thought a lot about what you said. What did they do defensively in the offseason last week? And I think that is a really fair question.
Yeah.
What did the Lions do defensively in the offseason? It almost appears that every move that they made, free agency was to go get the wide receivers, and all that. Maybe you're counting on Okudah to come back. Was that more hope? Because hope, as an old coach used to say, hope is not a strategy. But you were hoping Okudah would come back. You were hoping Hutchinson would prove his worth. You were hoping that this 6th-round pick, once you got him in camp, Malcolm Rodriguez, was going to be a good player. You were hoping this 2nd-round pick in Josh Pascal was going to be okay. A lot of hope surrounding there. One guy that what he was going to give you was Charles Harris, because he's done it in this league before. That is probably the only guy that I think you can tangibly say that they knew what they were going to get when they signed him.
Even with Charles Harris, man, he had 7.5 sacks last season. It still kind of was hope, but they did see enough and show proof with the 7.5 sacks that he had last year that the guy can play. And they're feeding off everybody on that team. But you're only going to go so far as your best link. Like, I know they're doing it together. I know they're doing it collectively. But you got to have a best player on both sides of the ball. And Aiden Hutchinson is going to be that best player on defense. As he goes, he gets the excitement. He gets it in there. And then you feed off of one another. And it becomes infectious. It becomes contagious. Another guy that's starting to make some plays, man, I'm starting to get excited, is your boy Malcolm Rodriguez. Once again, Malcolm Rodriguez goes out there. He has 7 tackles.
He's a football player.
You hit the nail on the head. That's why I keep throwing off the comparison of Zach Thomas. It's not so much to how they built. Although Zach was a shorter guy, Malcolm was a shorter guy. Zach was built like a brick. Malcolm's built like a brick. They're football players. Those guys are all over the
Chris
field.
Spielman.
Every time, 100 man. Spielman's a little bigger. Like
Spielman was the 2nd-round pick, 28th overall.
No. I'm just saying football player.
I get it.
Malcolm is a football player. Like, whenever I told you the first game I played against Zach Thomas, like I promise you, when we played Zach Thomas, When I'm doing pregame warm-up, I'm walking by Zach Thomas. I was like, this little MF, this is going to be funny. And then when I watched film of that game, he was everywhere the ball was, everywhere the play was supposed to go. He does hella film study. He knows his assignments, and he hit like a brick because he hit me on the chin. My chin wasn't right the rest of the season. Malcolm Rodriguez has that same type of intensity and just know for where, a knack for where the ball is going.
I'm not going to put him in the Hall of Fame after 2 games.
I didn't say that.
And I know you didn't. But my question is it possible that they got that one right?
Yeah.
Seriously.
They
Is it
did.
possible?
It's already done. They did.
Is it possible that all 31 other teams missed on them 5 separate times and the Lions got it right? Because we have seen that before in the NFL. That does occur. I don't want to say many times, but it does happen in the NFL quite a bit.
You know what happens and how that happens, Ryan, is a lot of times individuals, they place so much stock in measurables, height, time.
What you look like in your underwear.
Exactly. We call it the meat market. That's where it is when you go to the combine. It's
the underwear Olympics.
100%. It's like, how tall is this guy? You know what? He's 6'2". Dang, we wish it was 6'3". What is this 40 time? Oh, it's 4.48. We were hoping it was going to be 4.39. Sometimes you do that and you overlook stats. I guarantee you overlook watching his highlight tapes or his play at Oklahoma State. I guarantee you looked at, you glance over the fact that he led the Big 12 in tackles. You glance over that he was finalist for Defensive Player of the Year in the Big 10. You look over that because you're looking at measurables. He's 5'9.5", 5'10". He doesn't necessarily run. Sometimes guys are just football players. They know how to be football players. You put them in a good system, and they're going to be football players. And so far, keyword so far, he looks like a damn good football player.
They were finally the smartest guy in the room because they always acted like they were the smartest guys in the room. But we finally have guys that are actually pretty damn smart picking these players.
Braylon, who were you going to say defensively? When I mentioned Charles Harris, I saw a gleam in your eye. I think you were going to mention Jeff Okudah. Jeff Okudah is that guy.
Jeff Okudah.
I get goosebumps thinking about this guy.
But you've been on it from jump, and I'm going to let you talk, but I got to give you your kudos. You've been talking about Jeff Okudah since how long, man? January, February?
Oh, way before.
Exactly. Basically talking about, could this guy come back? You know what? I'm pulling for Jeff Okudah. You know what? They drafted him in this space for a reason. You look at the rehab process. Just look at this mental. You talk about having Patricia or Quintricia. He dealt with all that, and you've been on it since day one. You talk about Jeff Okudah.
I just think when you take a man and you beat him down, okay? The injuries beat him down. The fan base beat him down. Hell, maybe even
the national media?
National media beat him down. Here's another bust in the NFL. Oh, the Lions got another bust.
Yeah.
I think there's 2 ways you can go. And it's, look at your own life. Not you, but you out there.
Yeah.
You in general. You're going to go through a bunch of crap in life. Which way are you going to go? Are you going to bury your head in the sand and put it down there and just let people continue to kick you? Or are you going to take that? Are you going to work hard, try to prove people wrong, know what you have within yourself, and keep moving forward? What are you going to do? And when he started putting those videos out, it signaled to me which way he was going to go.
Yeah.
This means something to him. Getting back in the NFL, not only getting back and playing and being healthy, but being a really, really damn good player, that means something to him. We saw Matthew Stafford go through 2 years of injuries and then not miss another game almost the entirety of his career, which is still going on. Jeff Okudah can be that guy too. Jeff Okudah can be one of those players that, just got hurt first couple of years, but then eventually he stays healthy. And when and if healthy, he's a damn good ball player. Now, will he live up to the 3rd overall pick? I'm telling you, if he was the 3rd overall pick in this year's draft, and I think he's got 1 catch and something like 16 targets or something like that, you'd say he's doing pretty damn good. I think Jeff Okudah is not only going to be really good for this team, he's just a great person that you want to see succeed, so I root for him.
That saying isn't for no reason. Pressure busts pipes or makes diamond. Like, that's what happens. There is no in between when you're under the gun, when you're under pressure. There's no like, oh well, you did okay. When you're under pressure, you either fold or you turn into a diamond, and that's what you're seeing on him. He's been under pressure. There was pressure that comes with the number 3 pick overall. Trust me, I know. There's pressure that comes to a city that wants to win right now and is looking to blame everybody for the reason why they're not winning. All that pressure. There was new changeover. Is he going to be a guy that makes the team for Dan Campbell? Because remember, that was the thing. Is he going to be a guy that can even make this team, or is he going to have to go start somewhere else? Is he going to have to start new and start fresh? His identity, his makeup, he comes from Ohio State. Now, although I hate that school, they put out some damn good defensive backs, and he's one of them. With the exception of Eli Apple, I haven't seen a bad defensive back come out.
He's still playing.
Well, he's still playing, but like he was 4th overall.
I understand that.
So I mean, he's still playing, but like you're looking at Denzel Ward, Marshawn Lattimore, and what it seems like Jeff Okudah could be. It's very different to Eli Apple. Pressure, bust pipes, it makes diamond, and so far it looks like it could be forming into a diamond.
Guys, we talk about Malcolm Rodriguez. How about another 4th-round pick that so many people may have missed on? Looks pretty elite. We'll talk about Amon-Ra St. Brown and just how good this guy can be. We'll do that next. You'll hear from him. And just some of the numbers that he's putting up, just stupid numbers. You'll hear from him and Ben Johnson. This offense, guys. Again, 71 points through 2 games. We'll talk about it next. But first, a message from SMA.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance use disorder. Their new podcast, this is the S word, and S word stands for stigma. We have to destigmatize mental health. We have to destigmatize addiction. We have to let you know it's okay to not be okay, but to seek the actual help that you may need. If you or anyone you know suffers from one of these 2 things, or you think you may have something on this level, go to thesportsma.com. Sean Dora does an amazing job with SMA and the NFL Alumni Association of Detroit, just giving you the information and having conversation. Go to thesportsma.com. Promise you, you won't be disappointed.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
And Big Frog.
Big Frog, ribbit.
Frog big.
Get yourself a free Woodward Sports t-shirt. That's right, a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. Just stop in and tell them we sent you, and they will print you one right on the spot. So go to Big Frog Novi today and get yourself a free t-shirt, or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
I mean, I don't really think about it. You know, I just go out and play ball, prepare all week. Coaches put us in great positions to make plays, and I just go out there and play ball. I don't think too much about, you know, records, what this, that, the other, how I'm playing. Every week's a new week, it's a new opponent. They might give you a different look, so just go out there and play and see what happens.
Yeah, if you're a Detroit Lions fan, you got to really be excited for this young man, Amon-Ra St. Brown, man. Not only as a player, but just as a person. He's the type of person that you build a team around. He's the type of person that goes into the community. But we'll talk about that. Let's get to on the field. Man, that Joker can ball. Man, he can ball. And the big thing I love about too, Ryan, is we talked about during Hard Knocks. They asked him, they said, coming off of an amazing rookie campaign, like, what do you want to do? What did you attack? He said, yards after catch. I want to be the guy that when I get the ball in my hand, I want to be dangerous. I don't want to just catch passes. I want to be dangerous with the ball in my hand and make plays after. Well, I think he did that in the offseason. I think he got better.
Braylon, Amon-Ra St. Brown tied an NFL record for the most consecutive games with at least 8 receptions. 8 games in a row he's had at least 8 receptions. Yesterday, 9 catches, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was targeted 12 times. Also rushed the ball for 58 yards on a end around, which was a great play design, which we'll talk about in a second. But
that was the old Statue of Liberty play.
It was that play that I thought the Lions punched back.
Yeah.
It was that play to me that signified the Lions were going to hold on and win that game, because everything was going against them. And then Amon-Ra on the end around, and I felt pretty good about it at that point.
Did you see that handoff, by the way? No, you didn't see it, because it was a perfect Statue of Liberty handoff. I mean, that was beautiful, Brad.
It was a thing of beauty. The one thing I will say for individuals out there that, may look at it and say, oh, those are empty stats, who cares? No, they're not empty stats. Because the fact that he has 8 catches in 8 straight games, you know what that symbolizes? And he's only one of 3 people to do it. What that symbolizes is consistency to me. Because just because you throw the ball in somebody's direction don't mean they're coming up with every pass. It doesn't mean that they're going to be reliable. He's consistent. He's in every game. He's focused in every game. He's focused at all points during every game. He's getting better every game. 8 catches on 12 targets?
Yep. 9 catches on
every game. 8 catches on 12 targets?
Yep. 9 catches on 12 targets.
9 targets on 12 targets, and those 3 that misses, they were not on him.
1 got knocked out of his hand. It was a really good defensive
damn good play.
play.
It's called a boom boom play.
Yeah.
It's like a boom boom type play. But that symbolizes consistency. This is a guy that you can trust. The reason why he's getting 12 targets as a 5th round draft pick is as a 4th round draft pick, it's because he's consistent. When Jared Goff looks out there, you know what he knows? I know Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to make this play. I know Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be where he's supposed to be. I know Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to do something in the Detroit Lions. That's why he's the guy. DJ Chark will eventually get in some chemistry with.
He's the only guy right now that's not clicking.
And he was open. He missed him a couple times.
I know.
So
the quarterback missed him.
It'll come, but you know why? It's because was DJ Chark here last year? You know who was here last year? Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Braylon Edwards. How good can Amon-Ra St. Brown be? I mean, legit question, because we'll talk about DeAndre Swift in a minute, but I can't think of 4 running backs that I'd rather have than DeAndre Swift.
Right.
When it comes to wide receivers, I mean, there's a bunch, of course, the big names, but Amon-Ra St. Brown, man, he looks like he's a solid one. How good can he be?
You know, the trajectory that I would place him on is Juice Landry. I will compare him to a Juice Landry, and this is why I say Juice Landry. Amon-Ra St. Brown is not the fastest guy in the NFL. Neither is Juice Landry. Juice Landry was a 5th, 6th round pick. A ton of wide receivers went before him in the same draft as Odell Beckham. Ton of guys went before him. Juice Landry, what did he do? He responded with, in 5 years, he has the most yards in NFL history. He has the 2nd most touchdowns in 5 yards, 4th most touchdowns behind his buddy, Odell Beckham and Randy Moss. The guy is just a playmaker. He was dependable with the Miami Dolphins. Whenever they gave him the ball, he would do something with it. He was always out there. He was never injured. He said all the right things. He did all the right things. He's that type of player. And oh, by the way, Juice Landry has 5 Pro Bowl appearances, and one of those is All-Pro. 2nd team All-Pro. That's the type of guy that I think he can move. That is not a slight to Amon-Ra in the least. If you look at Juice Landry's yards, his catches, his touchdowns, and what he did his first 6 years in the NFL, that's a hell of a trajectory to be compared to. I see Juice Landry when I look at Amon-Ra St. Brown.
How about this? I've never played wide receiver. I'm shocked that you didn't know that.
You look good, though.
But you know what? I have watched the games for a long time. This kid is a top 10 receiver in the NFL. Top 10 right now. And guess what? He doesn't even really have any protection. Wait till Jamison Williams shows up. And if he's supposed to be that guy, you don't think this guy's even going to get better? This guy, sky's the limit for this kid.
Without question.
Now we got to pull back. Not top 10 yet, man. He's working hard.
Let me ask you.
But go ahead.
I got a name for you. Somebody who he reminds me of.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp. Amon-Ra St. Brown reminds me of Cooper Kupp. Similar builds in space, hands that are just, they catch everything around them. The play designs for them, and they're not gonna win any running contest.
Yeah.
40
No
yards.
sprints.
They're not gonna beat you in a race.
Yeah.
But they run hell of a precise routes. Your comment?
No, well, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I will work with it. I think for you see slow and you see hands, and you put them two together. That Joker Cooper Kupp's routes are ridiculous. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown's not there yet as it relates to a precision route run. Like Cooper Kupp, you watch him, he destroys DBs, whether it's zone, whether it's man, whether it's DB1 in the league, or whether it's DB10. He destroys it. He can get there, but I like the juice one a little bit more. Not bad, though. That's not bad.
We can't sit here all day and just pick. But I don't know if there's 10 better than him. Where's 10 better than him?
There might be 10, but there's not 15. You know what I'm saying? Maybe.
No, I'm not challenging Braylon.
I'm not challenging him at this
He's going to
position.
start writing them down.
I know.
Now.
I want to hear, but this is good. So you could go what? Devontae. Well, you might be. There's a bunch. Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs. I'm just doing this off the top of my head.
Jefferson,
Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase.
Yep.
Jalen Waddle? I don't know, man.
Yeah, Waddle. I'll put Waddle above him.
Yeah. Okay, hell yeah.
Waddle's is a
so
stud.
this is just quick without me
just
looking
quick off the top of our heads. We're just spitballing here.
Mike Evans, Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and who's HR?
Hunter Renfrow.
Renfrow.
Hey, before you make a comment, I'll send you some highlights.
Okay.
I'll send you some
Cost
highlights.
the Raiders the game, yesterday.
He did fumble. He did fumble against the Cardinals. Oh, shoot, D-Hop. He's not playing technically, so he doesn't count.
Yeah, I mean, either way.
I think D-Hop's on the other side of the hill.
Listen, either way.
A.J. Brown.
Either way, I'm not trying to downgrade or downplay anybody in this list. It was a fun exercise to do on the fly.
Top 15 then. I'm backing up.
At the very least, if you pick a wide receiver in the 4th round and he's a top 20 player at that position,
that's a better way to say it.
In the NFL, I think that's pretty darn good. Yeah. And you look at this offense and what this offense will look like when Jameson Williams comes back. I mean, who is the odd man out here? I mean, they can't all play.
It's Quintez Cephas.
But Cephas hasn't seen the field
He's out.
now even.
He's done.
I haven't seen Cephas all year.
I'm shocked that they didn't trade him at in training camp. I am.
I think a big thing for them, I think when Jameson Williams comes back and when he's healthy, which should be at the end of this 4-week period, I think basically James Williams becomes 1. They'll work him into the 1 spot. It'll be 1. 2 is Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think DJ Shark could be the 3. But I think when you go 3 wide, then you move Amon-Ra St. Brown around in the slot, and you keep the 2 big guys on the outside.
Just a quickie going to the break. Would you even play Jameson Williams this year?
Yes.
Absolutely. If he's ready, there's no reason not to play him.
I'm just so... I'm scared to unwrap the package.
Quit being scared. I mean, you can't be
scared.
We
ain't scared. Jim Schwartz.
No, we ain't scared. We can do this exercise with the wide receivers. I challenge you guys to find me 4 running backs that you would take over DeAndre Swift right now.
There ain't many.
NFL.
You're right.
There's not many. We'll talk about DeAndre Swift, his impact on this team, and Ben Johnson, man. This Lions coaching staff, I'm telling you, pretty darn good. You look at these coordinators, you look at that head coach, my goodness. We'll talk about him next, but first a message from the Folding Warehouse.
They all love to go to the Folding Warehouse as well, and Hamtramck, you should as well. Chris Hudd invented the game of football and bowling. 2 ways to play it, $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation for 2 hours for $120, but you can put 10 to 12 people on a lane. You do the math. It doesn't cost that much. Any drink you want, multiple full bars and over 100 beers to offer. That's a lot of beer. I don't think you can find one that they're not going to have for you. The $2 mystery beer machine to boot. Bring your own food and have it delivered as well. Baby. Let's go right now. Get to the Folding Warehouse, foldingwarehouse.com.
He's He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Planet Fitness. In case you didn't know, Planet Fitness is the official studio sponsor of Woodward Sports. Also home to the judgment-free zone, where you can work out for just $10 a month.
Only $10?
Yes, only $10.
Oh my gosh.
Or you know what? Do yourself a favor and upgrade to the Black Card for the unlimited guest privileges, hydro massage, and so much more. Join in club today or go to planetfitness.com.
Guys, welcome back. If you are watching this show on YouTube, go ahead and like this show. It helps YouTube push our content out to more people. So if you are watching live right now, and there is a significant number of people watching live on the YouTube channel, we ask that you hit that like button for us. Subscribe to Woodward Sports. Just crossed over 32,000 subscribers as well. So we thank you for that. DeAndre Swift touched the ball. Didn't practice all week. Limited on Friday, I believe. Touched the ball 7 times, 87 yards, a receiving touchdown. He is a star.
Yeah.
He is a star, and you've got him on your team. Finally, it looks like the Lions have some young players that could grow into stardom in the NFL. He's one of those guys. Braylon, I asked you before the break, find me 4 running backs that you would rather have on your team other than DeAndre Swift right now.
There are only 8 running backs in the class of DeAndre Swift, and there's only 3 better than him. I tried, and I couldn't find them. I got JT, and I ain't talking about Justin Timberlake. I'm talking about Jonathan Taylor.
That is a real cult.
Obviously, the beast who still resides in Tennessee.
The king.
100% the king for a reason, Derrick Henry. And then Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
Outside of that, who's a fellow Georgia brother. Outside of that, Dalvin Cook, he's better than him right now. Saquon Barkley, he's better than him right now. Alvin Kamara, he hasn't played. He's better than him right now. Najee Harris was the guy that I was like comparable a little bit. I'm not taking Najee over DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift is a guy, every time he touches the ball, he's dangerous. 5 touches, he averaged 11.6 yards a carry. And he didn't even practice this week. And then obviously he scored a receiving touchdown. So he's a guy, if he can stay healthy, clearly the Detroit Lions can block for him. Doesn't matter who's playing offensive lineman for the Detroit Lions so far this season. They seem that they can get the job done. You get them in space. That is the kicker. That is going to be the help. The Detroit Lions, especially in games where you're playing against the Buffalo Bills, when you're going down to Dallas to play against the Cowboys, some of those tough games, you got to have nuances. Getting the ball to DeAndre Swift out of the backfield can help in games like that.
They're averaging over 7 yards a carry. That's league leading. That's phenomenal. That means we said it. They have the offensive line that can make anybody look good right now, and that includes Jared Goff. Jared Goff is looking really good and looking really comfortable behind that line. And who was I speaking to? I was speaking to our good friend Stingray Steve, our Patriot expert in the back. And he just said the Lions would be silly to even try to go after a quarterback next year because they have the Jimmy Garoppolo guy that they need that just sits behind that line. He's not going to kill you. He's not going to wow you. He's not, because he misses throws. I know everyone misses throws. He misses a few. I mean, he could have gave DJ Chark a little bit more chance to catch some balls. 5
touchdowns
They could have really been in the 50s. They could have been in the 50s. They've left a lot of points both weeks. on the ground here. But getting back to Swift, man, he's not even healthy, and he's giving you, and he ran off another 50-yarder. That's 2 weeks in a row with the 50-yard run.
That's how good the NFL is, because I clearly didn't realize that Aaron Judge has 59 home runs right now. I lost track of that because of how good the NFL was, most notably the Detroit Lions. But DeAndre Swift, man, running behind that line, going back to Jared Goff for a second. Look, Jared Goff, we know that he's not the Patrick Mahomes. He's not the Josh Allen type quarterback, but he can be a game manager. And there's nothing wrong with being a game manager. A lot of game managers have Super Bowl championship trophies and victories and MVPs, if you want to be honest. I mean, look at a guy like Nick Foles. All he has to do is do what he's doing. We talked about it before the season started, Ryan and Monty. We said if Jared Goff gives you 4,200 yards and 30 touchdowns, that's all they need. And so far, you know what he's on pace for? 4,200 yards and 33 touchdowns. So he's on pace to do something special. Now that the touchdowns are going to slow down a little bit. We assume maybe it won't, but he's just being the game manager. He's doing what he's supposed to do. The more you have confidence, the more you have success, the more you hit a couple throws, the more you hit that touchdown to Amon-Ra St. Brown to stay up, start to have confidence. Now he's going to start taking some of those shots that we saw him taking Hard Knocks. Those shots that they raved about during training camp, like, man, I'm seeing Jared Goff fit it into some tight windows. The more you have success on actual Sundays, not training camp, you start to take those chances. He was like, look, I know I got DJ Chark right here for a quick 10 yards, but I think I can get it in this window back here for 27. He'll take those once he has more success, and it's on the right track.
If you consider the way the Lions won yesterday, 3 interior linemen out, DeAndre Swift not practicing all week, only touched the ball 7 times. Starting QB1 out. That's one hell of a win, man.
Aiden hurt the whole second half.
That is one hell of a win. When's the last time the Lions won a game like that?
Never.
With all those guys out. And again, you got to win it a different way. So instead of DeAndre Swift practicing all week riding Swift, you go to Amon-Ra. You lean on your quarterback. Quick passes. 4 touchdown passes. QBR 121 point whatever.
Here's a better question. Come on, Amani. Not just when the last time they won a game like that. When's the last time, Maz, they won a game like that? At the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
When it matters. They've won games like that in December when nobody else is playing their players, so you don't care. It's the beginning of the season. It's week 2, and you're playing a team that has ability. They have players. When's the last time they've done that? I'll answer never. So it was damn good to see a win like that. Now, there's some things we gotta clean up. But it's a lot easier cleaning up when you win.
No doubt.
1-1. I'll take it.
1-0. We 1-0, baby. We 1-0. We won didn't count. We 1-0.
You played the Eagles and you played Washington. You're 1-1. I'll take it.
And again, if the Eagles win tonight, all 4 teams in the NFC North are 1-1, and you just hang around. But you can't mention DeAndre Swift and the Lions' rushing attack without mentioning that offensive line, guys. Yesterday, they rushed the ball 24 times, 191 yards. If I told you that, and I told you they were missing their starting left guard, starting center, and starting right guard, you probably would have told me I was crazy. Yeah. But one of the guys that stepped in and stepped up, when you've probably heard his story by now, was Dan Skipper. One of the most inspirational stories that you will hear in the NFL. You'll hear from him next. Just an incredible story. And you feel part of it because of the way you saw him in Hard Knocks. We'll tell you about that next. But first, a message from Les Stanford. Chevrolet Cadillac. It is no secret that new cars are hard to come by, but they are available at Les Stanford. Got to make a plan, though. Allocation coming in for lease or purchase of new vehicles. Les Stanford also has over 300 pre-owned cars on their lot right now. All makes, all models, all years. Some with less than 500 miles, so they're like new. Get off your heels into some wheels. Come on down today, practically giving them away at Les Stanford Chevrolet and Cadillac. Find new roads. Find them, baby.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey, it's Scott from the Bet Show. Hey, it's Monday. Really nothing good about Monday other than the fact we got 2 NFL games tonight, double the action. So make sure you guys come over at 4:30 at the Woodward Bets YouTube page and check it out, as we'll talk about some bets, some fantasy plays, all that other fun stuff. You also got to get over to that app store and download oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and the best place to check all the odds, the sports books right in the palm of your hand. But hey, let's get to some winners. Let's stay hot, just as we were all weekend. Listen, I'm rolling with the over in that Minnesota game. Nobody can cover Justin Jefferson. Too many playmakers in that game. Sounds good to me. oddstrader.com. Woodward Bets. Check it out.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
At Alta, time matters. Alta Equipment has got everything you need to get the job done. You have a big project coming up? Alta Rentals got you covered. Call them today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
Alta. Hey, Skip, nice freaking job.
That video from inside the Lions locker room, courtesy of DetroitLions.com, Lions Twitter. Great follows there. Welcome in hour number 2 of the program. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We got Fletch and JB, Jeremy, Bryant in the house. Yeah, baby.
JB in the building.
JB.
Hey, see, you know he got a new nickname now. He's JB Kool-Aid.
JB Kool-Aid, okay.
JB Kool-Aid.
How about Jelly Bean Bryant?
He's JB Kool-Aid.
Jelly Bean Bryant.
He came in here with all these Detroit colors.
Give me a shot of JB in there. Wave for JB, everybody.
There you go.
Motor City, that's what's up. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for doing so. Hit that like button for us. Let's see if we can get to over 300 likes by the end of the show. If you're watching on woodwardsports.com, thank you so much for doing that. You cannot talk about yesterday's win without mentioning the story of Dan Skipper. And I tweeted this out relatively early in the game yesterday, making his first NFL start. He was the guy in Hard Knocks, and we talked about this during our chats with, what was the director's name for Hard Knocks?
Nick Harris?
Nick Harris, thank you so much.
Pat Harris.
Pat Harris.
Sorry, Pat.
It was, you know, they cut Dan Skipper, and Dan Skipper sits there at the table, and he's like, "Is there anything I can do?" You know, it's
what could I have done different? He says.
Yeah.
What could I have done?
Here's a guy that's doing everything right, and just it's never good enough. 6 years in the NFL. He was cut by the Cowboys, Lions, Broncos, Patriots, Texans, Lions again, then Raiders, and then Lions again.
He laughed when he said, you get these NFL contracts, and they're not worth the paper they're printed on. That's what he said.
Yeah.
He said they're worthless.
He's joked that he had about 20 NFL contracts. Yeah. I counted them today. I think it's been 16. NFL contracts. Wow. I could be wrong about that, but I was trying to count, and it's so hard to follow because he's cut and he signed, cut, and re-signed so many times to practice squads. This is a story about sticking with it. And with the Lions going through their offensive lineman injuries, here's Dan Skipper, who was signed to the practice squad after being cut this time by the Lions. He's working. You keep working. You put your nose in that playbook. You study every position. Lions have an injury. They bring him up and ultimately makes his first start and plays well. There's a shot of him blocking on a DeAndre Swift. I think it was the 50-yard run. He's got that guy 10 yards down and then ultimately pancakes him. Here's Dan Skipper after the game about the tough road it's been for him.
I mean, it's my 6th year in the league, and I've never made a team. It's tough. You know, you go in and you're just never quite good enough. You're not quite enough. You know, you show up every day and, you know, you think you're doing the right things, and just for whatever reason, it just doesn't quite work out. I mean, I think I've had 20 NFL contracts. Like, they're not worth the paper they're written on, right? So, you know, it's like, here we go again. You know, 6th year. You know, I think things look good, and it sucks. You know, but, you know, went home, got you know, things. You know, got to spend a week with the family, which was big. Got back up here, moved, did all that, and, you know, just trying to get back to put your best foot ahead every day. It's not easy. Whether you've been fired once or 100 times, it still sucks. You know, and it's tough. You know, you get fired, but just keep on plugging away, and, you know.
Yeah, what people have to understand about that process, like, that is a nerve-wracking process. I've never been on the end of it, but I've had friends that will go through that, where you're talking about team brings you in, then the team cuts you. Now you got to sit around at the house and wait. Sometimes you got to stay in that city just in case that team that cuts you wants to call you back. You still got bills to pay. You still got to go through things, and you just go in and out. And we've talked about it, man. That's why we're talking about the Michigan State player that opened up the gym. We're talking about waiting for that phone call. Like, you know, like, am I going to go away from this because
Taiwan
Jones, exactly. He was waiting for that phone call. A team calls you, they bring you in for a tryout. It doesn't work out. Next team calls you next year, they bring you in. You know, you go through training camp, you think things are going right. Then all of a sudden say, hey, you know what? It was this close, and you go. That can deter you mentally, man. That can frustrate you.
Oh, my God.
So the fact that this guy was able to stay the course for 6 years. Remember that player that the Los Angeles Lakers had? The guy that played 10 years on the G League, on their G League team. And he had the great story. He finally played at the end of the season, and I think he had like 27.
Mm-hmm.
And, like,
was that Smush?
No, it wasn't Smush Park, but he should have played G League. No, but you wait for those moments, man. People that stay the course, and he stayed the course. He's kept fighting. Like, even his laugh, like, he was laughing, he was joking.
He was ready to cry.
Exactly. He was smiling.
I was ready to cry.
He was smiling
I was too,
to
man.
keep from crying, man. So the fact that he could stay the course and just be ready. You never know when an opportunity is going to come. And like you said, Ryan, he got his opportunity. And when he got in the game, he didn't just get in the game and say, hey, Mama, I made it. Hey, Dad, I'm here. I made it. He said, no, I'm going to take this opportunity, and I'm going to show all you MFers that kept firing me, that wouldn't give me a shot. I'm going to show you how good I am. And he took somebody way the hell out of bounds. That guy waited for his moment, and he took advantage of it.
I've been fired by the best of them in a million jobs I've had in my career, in my life. It's never easy. When he said it that way, these guys, they're fired.
Right.
Because getting cut is being fired.
You're fired. It sucks.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse. Nothing. Except someone dying.
It's
That's
nothing,
it.
You know what it makes it, and he said, my bad, Ryan, to cut you off.
No.
What makes it even that much more, Ryan, Maz, not just getting fired. Getting fired when you feel like you've done everything you can do. That's the extra part, too. It's like, damn, what could have I done different?
So it's funny. So I was watching the Lions post-game, all of the post-game earlier this morning. From the podium and all that stuff. And when he put it like that, when you're fired, like whether it's one time or 100 times, it still sucks. A text came through from you, Maz, as I was just about the show today. And I automatically thought about you, to be honest with you. Because I'm thinking to myself...
How many times Maz has been fired?
Well, a little bit. Because I'm thinking to myself, here's a guy that is the nicest guy in the world, who shows up to work every day, who works the morning of his sister's wedding to make sure that we have a show Friday. Who's putting rundowns together on planes. How does that guy get fired so many times? Like, you have done everything.
He's too nice.
Well, I mean, it is interesting, though. Like, when you give everything and you do the job and you get fired like that, for a guy like that, I thought about you.
I sat in those rooms and I'm like, what?
I'm like,
are you kidding? I thought I was on candid camera.
Like, how does that even happen? You know, how does that happen to a guy like you, Dan Skipper? There's nobody better than Tom Mazawey at what you do. There's nobody in the city that is better at what he does than Tom Mazawey. Period. End of story. How does it not work out for a guy like Dan Skipper? How does it? there's 32 teams in the NFL. The Tampa Bay Bucks are on like their 8th starting right guard.
Yeah.
How does Dan Skipper not have a job? I just don't understand that when you do everything you can. So, long story short, when I saw him start yesterday, the hair on the back of my neck stood, not only when he got to start, but when he played well.
Yeah.
You know, when they're rushing the ball up the gut, they didn't do these tosses to the outside to get by Decker and Sewell. They ran up the gut, they were going, man.
They were running up the butt.
Running up the butt.
I've been watching too many highlights.
I'm sure that's what you were watching.
Mark Sanchez. Talking about Mark Sanchez, the butt fumble. No, but they're legitimately running in the middle. They're not hiding. They're not going hashtag to hashtag or hash line. I mean, now you got me saying hash brown. See, you know what? But they're not going hash to hash, man. Those guys are going right up the middle, man. So you know where it's coming. Like the defense knows, hey, they're running right at us, and you still couldn't stop it. So to see Dan Skipper get that type of play in that type of scenario and that type of journey, it's amazing. It's a great story.
I want to ask you about the Lions coaching staff next. Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, and Dan Campbell.
I can't wait for you to talk about this because I got something that, you know, I got something.
How many, and I'm going to do it in this, how many times do you watch an NFL game and you say, where's our Sean McVay? Where's our Bill Belichick? We had Bill Belichick back in the day. Why couldn't we identify him?
Where's our Andy Reid?
Where's our Andy Reid?
I got you.
You know, have we found that person and those people? Have we done that? But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience, and it's your last month to register to win the car of your dreams from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, no appointment necessary. It's wicked awesome. Wicked awesome.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new Field House. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
OddsTrader.com. It's the number one site for your game day bets, play-by-play updates, live scores from the best price, and every game from multiple sportsbooks. Doesn't matter what the game you want to bet on, OddsTrader has it. Doesn't matter what parlay you want to make, OddsTrader has it. Doesn't matter what sport, what player, what you want to do in the future or right now, OddsTrader has it. For the best bet, simply put, OddsTrader.com. Ryan, look to the right.
I keep telling, I tell everyone, I think he's one of the best coaches I've been around. He has, that young mind. He's open to new ideas. He puts all of us in the right position to make plays. He knows our strengths. He knows our weaknesses. He knows what the quarterback likes. He knows everything. He's one of the best coaches I've been around. I love Coach Johnson, and like you said, once he kind of took over halfway through the season, that's kind of when, I started getting more targets and things started taking off for me. So I love Coach. I love what he's doing for us as an offense. He's putting us in the right position to make plays, and we're going out there and executing. So, like I said, we're going to enjoy this week, this win, but next week is a new team.
That was Amon-Ra St. Brown talking about Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson.
I would like the guy too if my targets went up once he got in there.
Without question, but Ben Johnson, through a couple of weeks, has called a brilliant game both weeks against Philadelphia and against Washington last week, Sunday, I guess yesterday. Dan Campbell talked about the game that Ben Johnson called Brian Baldinger again.
Can't get enough.
Keep going back to this because he puts very limited things out, game breakdowns on Twitter. And again, just talking about the play, I don't know anything about play design. But when a guy like Brian Baldinger or Dan Orlovsky, they break down this stuff on Twitter, and they got this motion and this pen's going this way and this guy's going this way, and they show it to you like that, it's hard not to just throw your hands up and say, maybe we got something here with Ben Johnson, with Dan Campbell. Because, Bray, how many times do you just look at a coach and you're like, you know, where's our Sean McVay again? Where's our Kevin O'Connell? Where's our Josh McDaniels? You know, where's our guy like that? Do you have a couple of those guys now?
You definitely do. You look at guys like Ben Johnson, look at Aaron Glenn, what these guys can do, man. You get nervous first and foremost because as soon as you see coaches getting good, what's the first thing you think, man?
They're getting cherry-picked.
Damn it, he's got to get out of here. But with that being said, Ben Johnson has looked good through week 2. Everybody always is pressing. Name an offensive coordinator. Name somebody to coordinator. Why won't Dan Campbell just pull the trigger? I think sometimes this is a good reminder. People just need to relax and let things take care of themselves. Ben Johnson has called a tremendous 2 games thus far. I mean, they're 35.5 points a game is what they're averaging right now. Finished off the year pretty good last year in terms of offensive scoring points, scoring drives, sustaining drives.
11 straight quarters with a touchdown. The Lions have right now the current NFL record. They have a touchdown in 11 straight quarters.
So finally we're on the right side of things. But, you know, it's just a good thing. Like, we live in a world now as it relates to NFL. Back in the day, like, you know, it was simple. Like, everybody was using the same stuff. It wasn't a lot of film out there. People were stingy with their stuff. So you had to develop your own offensive system. And if it worked, you kept it to yourself. Eric Coryell. Nobody was allowed to use Eric Coryell's office in San Diego. Or then you get George Seifert old coach, Don Shula. You get the Shula system and all the coaches that came out of that. Now you're getting systems where guys... Bill Walsh. Thank you. I was thinking Don Shula. Bill Walsh. You don't have to necessarily be a football guy to be a coach and call good plays and be a good coordinator. You don't necessarily have to be that guy. Ben Johnson is studied. All you got to do is study, break down tape, look at the guys you have. What fits this offense best? How can we have the best success? And so far in the season, you've seen that he's done that because DeAndre Swift has had a lot of success. Amon-Ra St. Brown has had a lot of success. But not only that, he's put Jared Goff in situations, Ryan, to where it's easy for Jared Goff. He's making Jared Goff's life very easy. All Jared got to do is follow the script, and the Lions will be all right.
Listen to this. Bill Parcells, you know he's my guy.
Parcells.
Listen to this tree. Here's his coaching tree. Off the top of my head. Bill Belichick, Tom Coughlin, Sean Payton, Romeo Cornell, Charlie Weiss, Steve Spagnuolo, and the list goes on and on. Look at Dan Campbell. He is now developing his coaching tree. Aaron Glenn. This new guy, Ben Johnson, out of nowhere. And keep going. Kelvin Shepard, Deuce Staley.
May I interrupt this program quickly?
Please.
We do have some breaking news.
We do.
Yeah. Is there breaking news?
He did.
Oh, good. The Detroit Tigers, this is from Jeff Passan. The Detroit Tigers are hiring San Francisco Giants general manager Scott Harris as their new president of baseball operations. Harris's rise in the industry has been meteoric, and he's seen as a future front office star. He'll now run the show in Detroit. The Tigers have a lot of good young pitching and some star-level positional talent.
They do.
They lack
everything.
Their lack of a step forward this year caused a change in the front office. So Harris joins A.J. Hinch and assistant general manager Sam Menzin, Jay Sartori, and David Chad from a very strong brain trust. So Tigers pluck the San Francisco Giants general manager, Scott Harris.
Hey.
He will be the new president of baseball operations.
Hey, you over there, do me a favor. Don't cut into any more Detroit Lions takes this year talking about the Detroit Tigers.
Well, we're not talking. It's just some news wanted to get in there. I don't know anything about the guy. We'll talk about him tomorrow.
No, I'm just
we'll
messing.
get you a guest. We'll talk Tigers.
We will definitely
tomorrow.
take care of it.
But back to the coaching staff, please.
The coaching tree, I think Dan Campbell has a phenomenal coaching tree. Now I want to ask you this. Ben Johnson will probably be the first coach plucked off of this tree, even ahead of Aaron Glenn, I think. Would you rather have I'm not going to do it.
What?
Would you rather have Ben Johnson or would you rather have Dan Campbell?
I knew that was your question.
I don't even want to say it. I'm not saying it.
Can I answer that?
I'm not saying it.
Dan Campbell by a million. Because, again, this is about leading men. You know?
I love the guy.
I know. This is about leading men.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
And
forgive me,
the
Dan.
X's and O's aside, man, go ahead, Braylon.
No, 100%. Like last year when they were talking about how good the offense was in Dallas Cowboys and everybody was talking about a young offensive coordinator by the name of Kellen Moore, I said, man, please, I wouldn't want Kellen Moore to lead me to the club to have a drink. Look, talking about Dan Campbell, okay?
Sorry,
when he first got,
funny.
I love it.
Funny.
I love it. Now, Kellen Moore he's robotic. But if you look at when guys first start coaching, remember they said about Andy Reid? Oh man, he's this, he's goofy, he's a big guy, he's funny, he's quirky. Like they talked stuff about him. They talked stuff about Bill Belichick when he first started. Obviously with the Cleveland Browns, he's too robotic, he's weird. Like everybody heard that in the beginning. That became good. Jim Harbaugh, he still hears that. But guess what? He went to the Super Bowl. He took that team to the Super Bowl with the San Francisco 49ers. Everybody has to start somewhere, and that's how they talk about everybody. Now they're saying the same thing about Dan Campbell. Now he's turning around. You're starting to see it. The interesting thing about it, though, is you look at those coaching trees. When you look at the guy who tree they come off of, whether it's Bill Walsh and the millions of guys, the Ray Rhodes, the Dennis Greens, the Holmgrens, all that. If you look at Parcells and the guys that came on here, Romeo Crennel and Bill Belichick, all those disciples are very similar to the guy that they're off the tree of. Like all those have a minority, like a majority personality or a way they call plays or the way that they run things or the way that they run a tight ship. Dan Campbell's tree is going to be very different, which is going to be very interesting. Like if you look at Sean McVay, all his guys act alike. Like Kyle Shanahan, they all kind of act alike. Dan Campbell's tree is going to be different because Dan Campbell is going to be way different than Ben Johnson, who's very different than Aaron Glenn, who's similar to Deuce Staley. His tree is going to be dope because it's going to be a bunch of different type of trees and branches. Different branches, one tree.
It's all good, man. That's a hell of a staff that they have here with the Lions. A hell of a staff. That's all. My comparison was they've done good.
Here's two people we haven't talked about. One, we got to give Antoine Randall some credit because he's worked with these wide receivers in the offseason. You've seen Amon-Ra St. Brown what he did last year, and you've seen the jump that he's taken in 2 games. That's Antoine Randall and Amon-Ra St. Brown working together. Do you like where Jared Goff is so far this season? He's okay, he's fine, ahead of schedule for you, or right on pace to what you thought he would do?
Look, I think Jared Goff's a really good quarterback, and I think you can win. I think you can win a Super Bowl.
I was going to give Mark Brunell some love.
Yeah, I think you can win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. I think if you go back to my assessment earlier in the offseason about replacing Jared Goff, really had nothing to do with Jared Goff himself. No. It's the contract. It's just really hard to win in the NFL unless you got a quarterback on a rookie deal or a Hall of Fame type quarterback.
Here's how you decide if somebody can win a quarterback. Who do you think is the best team in the NFL right now? Buffalo Bills?
Buffalo.
Yes.
Do you think they're going to win the Super Bowl?
I think they have just as good a shot as anybody.
All right, cool. Can Buffalo Bills win the Super Bowl if you take Josh Allen out and put Jared Goff in?
Yes.
Do you believe that?
Yes, I do.
Then there you go. He's a quarterback that you can build around then. Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah, like just substitute the best team in the league. If it's the Buffalo Bills, add Jared Goff. Are they still the best team in the league? Can they still? They don't have to be the best team. Can they win a Super Bowl?
I think they can.
Wow.
Then he can win a Super Bowl.
I never heard it quite put like that
well
before.
Done. I still think they're missing a running game.
That is great.
God, that's what Josh Allen gives you over Jared Goff. That's what. So I don't know if Buffalo could win the Super Bowl with Jared Goff.
Guys, there's plenty to discuss in the NFL.
He's a Seahawk.
There's so much, just like football porn again today. I can't get enough of it.
So much great games.
There is, but I will not let today pass without a comment.
This just in. Michigan State
on the
lost.
Michigan State Spartans. I'm just not gonna let it pass. I won't let it pass. We'll get to that next. But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
27 locations and more on the way. Chili Peppers Tanning is your vitamin D headquarters, and if you join the Pepper Club, they're going to save you $5 on unlimited tanning, of course, against any competitor, plus the cleanest salons in the D, and you get to meet the Pepper Girls. That's right. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans. ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
Pepper Girl.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Guys, yeah, so much football. Thanks so much for tuning in, making us part of your day. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, or Ermanni and Edwards with Maz.
Oh, you know what? Let me throw something out there, Ryan, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, please.
Is that all right, buddy? Hey, all you fans out there that watch us, that tune in, that give us the support, kind of like help us go along. You guys, we've grown with you. You know, we've done this, together. You guys, every day you tune in 2 to 4, or you tune into our other shows as well. We appreciate you. If you see us on the street, like if you see us at the Lions games or you see us at the mall, at a restaurant, come up to us and talk. I always appreciate the stories. People say, hey man, I listen to, Woodward Sports, or I listen to, Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Like, we love that, man. We really appreciate that. Like, don't feel like you got to hide in the wings or like point, everybody comes up to Ryan, especially the older.
Very big in the older demographic.
The guild community.
Right.
So,
we'll take it. So whatever we can
please
get.
come up. Please talk to us. We appreciate it, man, because at the end of the day, we are growing with you. We are part of the city, and we definitely appreciate you.
And a happy birthday to our main heavyweight, Spencer. Spencer and Easy at the Coliseum
That's a hell of a way to
tonight.
spend a birthday.
5 to 7. I'm exhausted, and I'm going.
Oh, are you going?
I'm going. I'm exhausted.
You gotta go.
I got off the plane. Don't ever book a 6 a.m. flight. They are the worst flight ever.
And they're never on time.
But I'm not missing Spencer's birthday.
You got a Sunday night with your family in
I
Jersey.
did.
Come on.
It's
What's
phenomenal.
better than that?
Talk about what did you eat when you're out there, man? Like what spots what didn't you eat? I guess would be the better question. What spots did you hit? Just give us a quick 3.
Well, first of all, we ate pizza Friday night. The best pizza in town from Cedar Grove, New Jersey.
Okay.
Actually, I love Hoboken better, but we're in Cedar Grove.
I've had some good pizza.
I sent you a picture of the pie.
Yeah,
I sent you the picture.
of the pie.
The white pie was amazing. That's amazing. The next day was my sister's wedding, and boy, did they have it all. It was the best, one of the best parties I've ever gone to. Thank you to Chris and Eddie. God bless you guys.
God bless you, Chris.
What a night on the Hudson River, this place, overlooking New York City. This food from the beginning to the end, and as you're walking out, you know what they have as you're walking out?
It was like DJ Unk walking out.
White Castles and Krispy Kreme donuts.
Hey man,
can't beat it.
And yesterday,
Gluttons.
my brother-in-law Mike whips us up an Italian dinner. to die for. Lasagna, capellini, the whole 9 yards. It was a freaking. I literally, I'm fat as it is. I put at least 5 pounds on more.
I love it. The capellini.
I was always told to stay away from that white pie. That was dangerous.
So good. Guys, you didn't really think we were going to go an entire show and not mention what happened out there in Seattle.
I was hoping not.
Seattle happened on Saturday night. It was a total, complete beatdown. Washington beat Michigan State 39-28. The final score was not as close as the game itself. And I will just say this. I took great pleasure in this. I really did. And you can, all you Spartan fans out there, you can tweet me I'm a clown and ooh, living rent-free in your head. Ooh, Spartan fans, rent-free. Rent-free. We live rent-free in Ermanni's head. You know what?
What that rent was doing in Washington,
I'm telling you, man. I didn't tweet during the game. I didn't say nothing during the game. I didn't cheer during the game. I just sat back and laughed during the game. I laughed at your football team. Your football team sucks, okay? Your football team sucks. Your quarterback sucks. Your coach is okay. He didn't have them ready. I don't care that you didn't have Jaden Reed out there. I mean, that defense sucks. I told you week 1. What did I say week 1? I said, you know what? Western Michigan had the ball with a chance to tie.
6 minutes and 32 seconds
left. With a chance to tie late in the fourth quarter or in the fourth quarter. And you know what? If I'm a Spartan fan, that would give me cause for concern.
And even the Akron game, even though it's 52-0, Ryan Ermanni, that Akron quarterback went up and down the field, but somewhere along the line, he stalled at the 30 every possession. He even moved the football.
And you know what? Fine. You know, I already know what your response to me is going to be. Oh, your team didn't play anybody. Your team played Sister Mary of the Blind 3 weeks in a row.
We beat their ass.
Hey, listen, if you are gonna respond to your team by talking about my team, please do. Fine. If you don't want to look at your team in the mirror, don't. You can come at my team. All you want. I know what my team is. I know what they are already. They're a damn good football team. They're a top 5 team in this country, and they will prove that when they have the opportunity to prove that. And nothing I'm going to say, nothing Braylon's going to say is going to do anything for you. All I know is that your team has some real problems, and your team sucks. That's what I know.
Well, now time for some X's and O's of that game. You know what? I watched the game, and I will say this. Michael Penix Jr. is a good quarterback. He was good in Indiana, tore his ACL, had to transfer. He transfers to Washington. He's a good player, a damn good player at that. He has some good wide receivers. He has a good running back. But they weren't a good team. They weren't a great team. And that's when watching the game, I'm like, is Washington maybe a slept-on team, or is Michigan State this bad? And I think it's a mixture of both. Their defensive line didn't get any pressure. You're talking about a guy in Michael Penix that dropped back 40 times. Michigan State had, count them, 0 sacks in that game. They couldn't get any pressure. You know, this was an issue for them last year. You know, outside of Panashuk, they couldn't get pressure on the quarterback, man. And I thought Windman would be different. Jacoby Windman played pretty good in the first 2 games, obviously against Akron and Western. Against Washington, a Power 5 team, they couldn't get to the quarterback. Peyton Thorne, listen, we know who the guy is. But it's no need to even talk about him. Actually, Peyton Thorne, you might want to watch his back, because that dude, Kim came in 2 games ago and looked okay. He only threw 2 passes. 1 was a touchdown. But Kim looked like he could do something. The running back field, you said Berger and Broussard had to give you output that K9 gave you. You said, hey, I know they can't do it by themselves, but maybe together, Broussard and Berger can give you that same type of output. When you get down 29 points, you're not going to be able to see, because they looked okay. 29 yards between Berger and Broussard on the road. We know it's tough to go to the West Coast and play, especially when you got Class Friday, so they can't leave on Thursdays. I get all that. They just didn't look prepared. They didn't look like they woke up. And even the 14 they scored in the fourth quarter, the game was over by then, so those are garbage points. Michigan State, though, here's silver lining for you guys. You got this game out the way. The Big Ten schedule hasn't started for you. You start this week against a good Minnesota team. I repeat, a good Minnesota team. You can fix the things that you did wrong out there in Seattle, but you got to do it now, because the Big Ten schedule is here. But Michigan State, if I'm you guys as the fan base, I told you before the season started, I said 7-5. That 7-5 is looking real good right now.
Yeah, I mean, and look.
Hey, look, I took a quick peek on Saturday during my sister's wedding, just at the score, and I texted you guys. I'm like, is this for real?
Yeah.
I could not believe that they were getting throttled, and that was the word, throttled, by Washington, who has really not been good in the last, 5 years? When's the last time that Washington's been good?
Quarterback, Jake Brown. That was the last time they were good.
That was 2016, maybe?
16,
I
think they made the Rose
It was
Bowl,
a sucker bet.
I told you.
I said, Michigan State getting 3? I'll put all my money on Michigan State. I got suckered.
Yeah, I told you.
Sucker.
Well, again, if it looks too good to be true, it usually is. So I'll say this about Michigan State. Let me do it after the break, because I do want to make a point about their football team, and I'll relate it back to my own. We'll do it next, but first a message from Cintron.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, and they are trying to energize you. Maybe Michigan State should have drunk some Cintron before the game started. Cintron has combined all 3 of their delicious flavors into a limited edition 6-pack. That's right, cranberry, sugar-free, and the classic. Go to CintronWorld.com/Red Wings, and you can get this package. They are in the community now. They're working with the Tigers. They're working with the Lions. They are with the Red Wings and also Woodward Sports. Let them energize you and help you be the best version of yourself.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
The Monroe Street Midway
baby,
is open until September 25th, which, if you didn't know, you still have time to experience Detroit with roller skating, mini golf, art, live music, food trucks, and much more. It's a fun and safe environment for everyone 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com for more info, and we will see you at the Midway.
Yes, we will.
Tuck coming, tuck coming, tuck coming. Yeah. How long have you been hearing that? Tuck coming. Ooh, tuck coming.
I remember when the season started. Now, I'm not beating up on them too much. Look, they lost. It is what it is. It happens to the best of us. We'll see you guys hopefully regroup this week, but it's going to be tough. When we talked about before the season started,
They got to row the boat this week.
They about to get rolled up there. But what did we talk about? I said the expectations of Michigan State, they're unrealistic. Because now that they've gone 11-3 last year, they're thinking they're 11-3 every year. And I'm like, bruh, that K9 performance, like you got to take a step back and look at what Kenneth Walker III was able to help you mask last year. Your offensive line was trash last year, much like the Detroit Lions were early in Barry Sanders' career. But guess what? Barry Sanders found ways to get yards, and that's what K9 did. That ain't the offensive line. That's K9. Peyton Thorne, average quarterback. But it's a lot easier when you got a running back, and K9 makes the play-action pass that much easier. Everybody's coming up. You got man-to-man coverage with Naylor and Reed on the outside. Makes it a lot easier. It makes the defense a lot easier to play when their secondary was horrible. But if you are ahead of most teams, then teams are playing to you. They're playing to you, so they got to pass all game long, and you're going to get a pick here or there. You're going to get to the quarterback here or there. Y'all don't have K9 this year, and it shows.
And that's exactly where I was going. Look, I've tried to talk reasonably about the Michigan State Spartans. It don't work. You mentioned Michigan State, and these crazy fans are all over the place. Yeah. Oh, the personal attacks and this, that, and the other thing. You know what? So I'm just going to tell you what I really think. Your coach sucks. He's no good either. He might be able to recruit. But I see a coach who's 20-15 in his career as a head coach. Okay, your quarterback sucks. I don't know what anybody was. what in the world? Peyton Thorne can't hit the broadside of a barn. This Keon
Tell him
Coleman.
how you really feel,
I mean,
Ryan.
seriously. Look, Mel Tucker's 20-15 in his career.
Ryan
and he threw an 11-2 record in there last year. And we've tried to say how much of this was this generational talent in K9, Kenneth Walker III. I mean, this is one of those great players that drops in your lap once every 20 years. He is that good. What do you do after that? You want to follow that up. You don't want to go down. You want to follow that up. And I'm not saying Michigan State's gonna be last place in the Big Ten this year, but I just don't think they're gonna be anywhere near the top. I think they'll probably lose this week to Minnesota. They're just not a good football team. Conversely, with my team, I didn't want last year to be a one-year wonder.
Yeah.
So I do think you got to validate. I do think Jim Harbaugh has to validate. What do you got this year? Go on the road and beat Ohio State and win another Big Ten championship. Yeah. You want to be up there with the big boys. You want to be up there with the elite. Go to Ohio State, finish the year 12-0, get to the national championship game, and validate what you did last season. And I don't think it's any different for Michigan State. You got to go do that. And they're probably going to lose 5 games. And I'm telling you, I think if you're a Michigan State fan, that's not good enough. Well, I don't care if you're a Michigan State fan, what your expectations are. Yeah. If it were me, that's not good enough.
Here's what you also have to do if you're the University of Michigan Wolverines. You gotta win some Big Ten games by large margins. And I ain't talking about playing Rutgers. I'm not talking about playing an undermanned Indiana. I'm talking about you got to go beat teams that we know not to be good, but they're Big Ten big names. You got to go whoop them. Penn State's not that good. Like, I don't need to see a game where you almost beat Penn State. They're not good. Like Purdue, like the teams like that, every game, like in the Big Ten, with the exception of Ohio State, I need to see you guys win some 2-touchdown games in the Big Ten. Whether it's Penn State, whether it's Indiana, whether it's Maryland, whether it's, well, they'll beat the hell out of Maryland, whether it's Minnesota, I got to see you put the pedal to the metal to beat these teams of that nature. Ohio State, however the hell you got to beat them, it's however the hell you got to beat them. Michigan State, however the hell you got to beat them, it's however the hell you got to beat them. But other than that, the Big Ten is sorry, and I need to see that the Big Ten is sorry about how you play.
Penn State didn't look sorry this week, though.
I think Auburn sucks, too, by
I know,
the way.
but that's a beatdown in Auburn.
They both suck.
That's
Auburn's horrible. Bo Nix, who was trash, he transferred. First team they played, Purdue gave them a game, and we saw how Purdue looked this past weekend.
I understand.
Penn State is
they're not an easy out, man.
They never are. They never are, but we don't go to Penn State this year. We got them at home.
No doubt. And by the way, they did announce that the Iowa game for Michigan was going to be a noon game.
Good. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, right. So Michigan and Iowa will kick off at noon. I think that's pretty darn good.
That's 1 o'clock here, though, right? Is it?
That's noon here. 11 o'clock there.
I hate those morning games. I never like morning games. Well, like noon to me is a morning game. So
Really?
I hated playing in Cleveland. Hell yeah, because you got to get up. I'm not a morning person.
Oh man,
you guys know that.
8 o'clock. It's like lunchtime for me.
What? Hell no.
8 a.m. is lunchtime.
Like
on
now,
the weekends, if I wake up past 6:30, it's ruined. My day's ruined.
Nah, like man, me like in college, you can get up for those games because you got to wake up 6:45, pregame meal, and go down there and eat. Then you go back upstairs for a second. You come down, Lloyd give his spiel. My cell phone went off in one of those meetings. This is my freshman year.
Oh, what happened there?
I didn't play.
Are you serious?
This is my freshman year. We were playing Minnesota, and I had just got a cell phone. Like, I'm talking about, my sister got a cell phone before I did. She's 8 years younger than me, mind you. So I just get my phone, and I didn't know it was ring or not, or I forgot, and it was in my bag. And this is right when Lloyd talks to us at the Campus Inn, which is now the Graduate. But talks to you at the Campus Inn. This is before we go down to the bus and go to the stadium. He's in the middle of like his spiel, and we're about to play Minnesota.
Oh no!
Of all teams, we're about to play Minnesota, and ring, it went off, and it was like one of those weird Nokia rings. It went off. It was loud. I tried to act like I didn't hear it, and you know everybody's looking around. That's what you do. You call it to help your boy out, and eventually it just kept ringing, and I didn't want to reach down for it and be guilty. And finally, everybody kind of looked my way, and then I was sitting directly in front of Lloyd, but one row back. And yep, sent me out the meeting a little early, and when you come down the back steps of the campus and go to the bus, there's tons of fans out there excited to cheer you on. And I came out the door and they started cheering, like everybody was coming up, and then it was like just me. Everybody's like,
"Oh no,
where
man.
the hell is everybody else?" I'm sitting on the bus embarrassed, but hey, you know what?
It's kind of like where you're coughing. You know, back then though, you used to cough to cover up a fart. Now you fart to cover up a cough. You know, because people freak out when you cough around them, right?
That's actually funny.
Of COVID,
you're right though.
You know,
you would rather pass gas.
Oh man, you rather
You cough. People give you that look when you cough.
Freak out.
Like,
man,
what do you got?
No man.
What you got?
That's what's up. Braylon, you're gonna have a breakdown for us. We're gonna do a Braylon's breakdown segment. We'll do that.
It's called the Swiss coverage of the week.
Swiss coverage of the week. I do want to jump back to the NFL though, just quickly, and tell you about our picks. How do we do? And lay down some ground rules maybe for moving forward. I think moving forward, Braylon's just going to pick the winners. Maz and I are going to pick against.
Hey, but I will say this, though. That spread actually helped me in that Rams game, though.
Yeah?
Because I picked the Falcons.
There you go. Look at that. See? 6-1.
Depending on, I'll use it when I need to.
Right. Exactly. You'll use it when you need to. So, what are the records here? I just lost those. Do we have the records, Fletch? We do not have the records. Oh, okay. So,
I had to make up some ground.
We did not. Maz won. It was a 4-3 week. You and I, Braylon, were 3-4.
3-4? How was I 3-4?
So right now for the season, I'm 9-5. Braylon, you are 7-7. Maz is 7-7.
Hold on. I took the Bucks. I took the Giants.
Maz graded them out.
I took the Bucks. Hold on. First of all, I took the Giants, Jaguars, and Bucks. That's 3 wins right there.
Okay.
I took the Rams. That's another one.
That's a loss.
No, I mean I took the Falcons.
Okay, so that's 4 wins.
No, you had you didn't have them. I got the sheet here.
I picked the Falcons. What are you talking about? You weren't even here.
I know, but he sent me the sheet.
Them down.
I said Falcons.
Oh, I don't know. We'd have to go back and look.
I wrote it down.
I said Falcons.
Okay, let's see. Let's check it out.
I don't have it written down like specifically right now, but I wrote it down because Braylon was like, make sure that everybody knows that I picked the Falcons. So I wrote it down. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. So then maybe we have to regrade.
Yeah. Here's what you have on my sheet.
Okay, let me see.
You got Washington. That's a loss.
Yes.
Pittsburgh, loss.
Yes.
Tampa Bay, win.
Yes.
Miami, win.
Yes.
Vegas, loss.
Yes.
Cincy, win. No, loss. And Chicago, loss. We didn't pick the Ram game.
We didn't pick the Ram game. So he was actually 2-5?
No, he has 3 wins.
3.
Oh.
The winner was Tampa Bay, Miami.
Was that one?
We only picked 7 games.
Yeah.
He's 3-4.
Very good.
Pick some better games, damn it.
I thought I picked some good ones.
Pick some better games.
They were good ones. Guys, we'll take a break. Braylon's breakdown the Swiss.
Swiss coverage of the week.
Swiss coverage of the week.
Yes.
Coming at you next. You know what this is? Speaking of coverage, what about Guardian Alarm? You want to cover your ass on that, right? Guardian Alarm, they're your local security experts. Have been for over 90 years. You see that black and yellow sign out in front of the house. Tells the bad guys one thing. Stay out. Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 local monitoring. Make sure what is important to you. Stay safe. Call that number right now, 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the bottom line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, it's big boy time. How about it? For a limited time only, the all-new burgers and loaded fries are at Big Boy. It's not just the Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim, the Big Jim. How about the chili cheese? It's such a tease. Get that bacon blue burger. And how about upgrading those fries? The chili cheese fries, the baked potato fries, the nacho fries. Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
Big boy. Big boy. All right, welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to Woodward Sports Network. Time now for the Swiss breakdown of the week. Braylon?
All right, come back right now. Swiss breakdown of the week. Guess what? Swiss coverage of the week. Look at the board right now where we have Swiss. Like I said, there's nothing better on game day than rock and tailgate. With all that fun comes responsibility too. Host liability, and I repeat, host liability is an important coverage when hosting a high school, college, or pro tailgate. So let Swiss and Mark have your coverage. This is why you want Swiss. Here we go, Tyreek Hill. This is supposed to be covered too. They're faking like it's man. Give me the next coverage right now. Give me the next picture. All right. Cover 2, his responsibility, forced Tyreek Hill outside. Safety comes back, comes over top. Next play. Next part of play. Doesn't play the position he's supposed to. Widens, allow Tyreek to come inside. He doesn't come over when he's supposed to. Look at the coverage now. It's the cheetah. Why the hell would you let the fastest man in the NFL get this far behind you? This coverage sucked. That's why you want Swiss. Give me the next one, because you know what's coming next. Now he's wide open. This guy's already throwing his hands up, Mike Gesicki. This safety is pissed at this guy. This guy's looking for his way home because he knows he's about to get cut. And the next one is a touchdown, Tyreek Hill. This was the touchdown. They got them back in the ball game. Eventually, the Dolphins did come back and win that game. That's why you got to have Swiss coverage, because you don't want to end up with bum DBs like that. Swiss coverage of the week.
Tyreek Hill, that Miami. We're going to talk about Miami tomorrow, Bray. You were all over to. I think you got to look at that team and say that. Man, that's a damn good football team. To come back, that was an epic collapse. We'll talk about that
28
tomorrow.
fourth quarter points.
Unbelievable.
In the words of Braylon Edwards, I told you.
Yeah, I told you.
I told you. When you have guys that fast, and we'll talk about it tomorrow, just a quick tidbit on it. When you got guys that fast, they're actually really good wide receivers as well, it's extended handoffs. Like everybody's like, oh, Tua's arm. Nobody can play anybody's arm when he had Jalen Waddle in college. I repeat. Jalen Waddle was his wide receiver in college, still had that same arm. Now you got Tyreek Hill. They're long handoffs. Give the ball to them 10 yards and let them do the rest. You see Jalen Waddle running the touchdown last week, ran in the touchdown this week. And then on this play, busted coverage. You get a lot of those when you got Tyreek Hill on your team. Ask the Chiefs about that.
All right, again, good stuff today, fellas. I'll tell you, it is just so much fun to talk about a victory Monday for the Lions, and that's exactly what we got today.
That was beautiful.
And Michigan, by the way.
And Michigan, too. We'll talk about Michigan, what you can deduce from the Michigan Wolverines.
Because it wasn't pretty.
We'll spend a lot of time on that tomorrow, absolutely.
But you got a Monday Night Football doubleheader tonight.
We do. We got the Tennessee.
How are they going to do that, man?
7:15 and 8:15.
Yeah. Put that little graphic up there, Fletch.
7:15, 8:15.
ESPN's got the first game.
Yeah.
That's Buffalo and Tennessee. And the second game will be on ABC with Joe and Troy. And that game is Eagles and the Vikings. So look what they're going to do. They're going to kind of go, both games you won't miss anything from either game if you're watching on either channel. They're going to bust in. They're going to give you double screens. They're going to give you a Sports Center highlights. What are you laughing at? What the hell are you laughing at?
Keep going. Just keep going.
Just keep going.
Keep going.
That's all I got.
Oh, but the good thing about
I wanted you to read it because I can't read.
I can't see that, man.
I can read it. It said approximately, this is the during overlapping action, periodic double box to showcase both games. Second, smaller score box for a game on the other network. Bottom line, navigation 8 and updates, whatever.
Go Eagles, baby.
You get the idea. Go Vikings. You get the idea.
Go Vikings.
I picked them to win.
Oh, that's why. I want the Eagles to win.
But the good thing about it, Titans suck. The Bills are damn good. That game should be over with by the time the Vikings and the and the Eagles start.
You don't think the Titans will hang with Buffalo today?
Same team that lost to the Giants week 1, no.
Malik Willis is going to be the starter by week 5.
Let's not jump on that bandwagon.
I'm just saying, he's going to be the starter by week 5.
Best defensive player, Harold Landry, what is he doing? Currently out for the season with a torn ACL. They lose their best player on offense. Well, second best player on offense, A.J. Brown, to lose him in free agency or lose him to a trade, and now you're hoping that Treylon Burks is that guy. Tennessee is a shambles, and I've never liked Ryan Tannehill to begin with. So I think, and they're playing the Bills. Like you act like it's not the Bills.
I know.
You talk about axes to grind. You guys are asking me about the Lions playing the Eagles. You don't think they think about it? I said, yeah, a team like that. You don't think Sean McDermott's been thinking about the Titans ever since last year when they went for it on 4th but didn't get it?
Yeah.
Don't you think for 1 second the Bills aren't going to put their foot down?
Hey, how about Slay versus Jefferson tonight?
Ooh.
Oh,
you want to
man.
talk about the matchup within the matchup? That's going to be a good one.
He's got to have nightmares right now.
160, 2 touchdowns.
There you go. Bray, this is great. Everybody, we'll see you tomorrow. Get us out of here.
Look, man, you know what time it is. The Lions get their
You know what
first
time it is.
win. Clap it up for the Detroit Lions. First win, baby. In the win column, 50% for the first time in a very long time. We'll keep talking about that this week, man. Talk about the stories that are going on, injuries. Michigan State, Michigan, talk more about them tomorrow. And also, Maz is back, man. Good to have you back, man.
Thanks, man.
Good to
Love
have
it.
you back.
It's football.
For Fletch in the booth, JB over there with the Lions, Kool-Aid, JB in the building, Adam Morrison, see you over there. My brother from another mother to the left, Ryan Ermanni. We are Ermanni and Edwards with Maz.